Welcome to the Fishbowl with Jade. Thank you for being here. I don't take your presence lightly because time is something you can never get back. So, the fact that you're choosing to sit with me for a moment means something. And today, we're diving into something I saw while scrolling. A simple post, but it carried weight. It said, "Strangers will support you more than the people you know." And whether we want to admit it or not, for a lot of us, that feels true. Now, let's talk about it because this isn't just social media talk. This is emotional, this is psychological, and this is personal. I've also seen posts that say people support who they want to support. They show up for who they want to show up for. So let me ask you something. Do the people who know you actually owe you that kind of loyalty? Or is that something we expect without ever really questioning it? Have you ever noticed when you start something new, a business, a podcast, a book, a new version of yourself? The loudest support doesn't always come from the people who've known you the longest. Sometimes it's people who don't know you at all, liking, sharing, encouraging, while the ones at your table stay quiet. And that makes you ask the question, why? From a social perspective, familiarity can bring comfort, but it can also bring limitation. The people who have known you for years, they met you in a specific version of yourself. So when you evolve, when you grow, when you step outside of who they're used to, it can feel unfamiliar to them. Not always intentional, but sometimes they're still trying to reconcile who you were with who you're becoming. Strangers don't have that conflict. They meet you as you are, not as you were. So when they see you doing something bold, something creative, something different, they're not filtering it through your past. They're experiencing you in the present, and that makes it easier for them to support you freely. Now, let's go a little deeper psychologically. Support isn't just about liking a post, it's about identity, comparison, and sometimes insecurity. The people closest to you, whether they mean to or not, can sometimes measure themselves against you. Your growth might highlight areas in their own lives they haven't explored yet. Your discipline, your courage, your consistency, it can feel like pressure to someone who isn't ready to move. And instead of saying that out loud, it shows up as silence, not always hate, not always jealousy, sometimes just discomfort. Meanwhile, strangers, they don't have anything to lose by supporting you. There's no history, no comparison, no emotional entanglement. Supporting you doesn't challenge their identity, it doesn't force them to reflect. It's easy. But let's go even deeper for a second, because there's another layer to this that people don't always say out loud. Sometimes people don't support you because your success requires them to be wrong about you. Let that sit. Because if you actually do what you said you were going to do, if your business works, if your podcast grows, if your book reaches people, then it challenges every silent doubt they had about you. And not everyone is ready to confront that. So, what do they do instead? They wait, they watch, they stay neutral. Because if you fail, they get to say, yeah, I didn't really see it for them. I kind of knew that wasn't going to work. That just wasn't for them. And now their lack of support feels justified. But if you win, now they have to reconcile why they didn't show up for you in the first place. And that's uncomfortable. So sometimes the safest place for people to sit is on the sidelines, not cheering, not booing, just watching. And here's the truth that might hit a little different. Some people don't clap because they're waiting to see if you fall. Pause there for a second. But let me ask you something. Do you really want everyone sitting at your table? Because we say we want support, but not all support is aligned. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people were assigned to a chapter, not the whole story. And that ties back to something we've talked about before, finding your tribe. Your tribe isn't always who you grew up with. Your tribe isn't always who you're related to. Your tribe are the people who recognize your growth and don't feel threatened by it. They don't just remember who you were, they respect who you're becoming. So, yes, strangers might support you faster, but maybe, just maybe, they're not really strangers. Maybe they're your tribe. You just hadn't met them yet. And the people who don't clap for you, that doesn't mean you shrink. That doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you question your worth. It just means you're growing in a direction they can't follow. And that's okay. Because this isn't about choosing strangers over family or friends over supporters. This is about understanding that support doesn't always come from where you expect it and learning not to take that personally. You don't need a full table, you need the right people at it. And that's your fishbowl moment. If this made you think, if this made you reflect, if this felt a little too close to home, then you already know why we had this conversation today. Thank you for sitting with me. I don't take your time lightly. And if you haven't already, you can listen to The Fishbowl with Jade on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search Jade Mills and step into the conversations we don't always say out loud. Until next time, keep growing, keep questioning, and make sure the people at your table can handle who you're becoming.